Well, what I've been doing in here is fitting these pieces together so that I can get it screwed down. And I think I've just about got it all. So I've been in and out, and I didn't film that because it was just too much running. But I think that what I've got here is going to work, but I need to add one piece. Let's see. How many of you guys are good at putting together puzzles? Okay, there's that one. Here's this one. Yeah, I'm going to add one piece right in here. I wasn't actually going to put a third leg in there in the middle. I was just going to let it float, but I changed my mind. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this leg in here. And especially if anybody tried to stand on that desk, get up on it. It's not what they're for. But well, this is what it's going to look like. I've actually got a lot more space up top than I have at that other desk. That other desk was primarily the size of this portion right here. So now I've got all this that I can actually, and that leg that I wasn't going to put in there that I ended up putting in there, it's far enough back in there so that if I turn like this, I actually don't hit my knees on it. So, because of this nice big overhang. So, that's nice. But let's take all this back apart, take it outside, oil it up, and maybe it'll be dry enough tomorrow where we can put it back together. Well, I've got to make a shelf on the bottom of the desk area right there for my hard drives to sit on because there'd be too much clutter up top. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I figured just kind of a box type. Doesn't have to have a back on it because it's going to go up against the wall. So, I got the measurements right here. Let's see if we can get this to work. Watch out. Well, I pretty much got everything where I want it. I kind of set it up there to kind of, you know, see how it was going to be, or the way that I want to put it together so that it's going to work for me. I've got the shelf mounted up under there. All of my hard drives down there. I'm going to put all of the electrical plugs down there. All I have run up through that hole is basically the end of the USB cord. And the same, I've got the TV right here because I've got to get another three-way, but everything, and until I can get my solar up here, I'm going to have to set this power unit up here. But once I get the solar where I tie the plugs in, or if my son and I can actually get, you know, these ends, which we would call the field in of the wires put together, that way on the office side, or basically where the power is going to come into the cabin at, we could actually put these over there and identify which plugs come over here, so that I could just temporarily put a plug on until I can get solar and plug it in the unit back here. So that way I can put all of my power supplies over there. But yep, I think this is how I'm going to use it for the time being. So what I'm going to do is take everything back off, or move them until I can get screws in here, but that means I'm going to have to drill more holes. So I'm going to go ahead and anchor this down to the frame that I built, and that should be the new desk area for when I sit right here and edit videos. Well, I had to fix this chain because the other day I was going to town and it was raining really bad. Everything was wet, and on my way there was a vehicle coming down the road, and I kept thinking, if you don't get over, our mirrors are going to slap. So I was hugging the side of the ditch, and I tried to get over just a little bit more. When I did, that front end went down the ditch and it started tracking. Well, I put it in four-wheel drive, nothing, because it just kept going deeper and deeper, and it was actually up to the bumper and halfway on the front wheel. So my neighbor, he came over there. I called him with his vehicle, and we tried to pull it out, and it kept tracking the ditch. So I came up here, took the forks off the tractor, put the bucket on, went back over there, used this chain, and I got a hold of one of the tow hooks and left it about 4 or 5 foot long, and then wrapped it around one of the hooks on the front of the bucket, like where I lift logs, so that I could lift up on the truck, because the rear housing was actually sitting on the pavement. So I needed to lift up on it a little bit where it could track out. And with the tractor, and I mean the front end was pulling down too, and as I was lifting up between that and the four-wheel drive, it actually came out, and I kept pulling it until we got the rear wheel out, and then we straightened it up and I went on to town. But you know, the funny thing was, when I hit the ditch, because I seen that they weren't going to move over, they slowed down. I guess they were looking at me. They slowed down, but then they just kept on going. So, but anyway, thank goodness for good neighbors, and good equipment. Actually, it had broke this one, and so it had a weak link up here from pulling logs and all that, so he had a chain in the back of his vehicle and we used it. So now that I've got this fixed, it's dry enough. We're supposed to start getting some rain tomorrow. I'm going to try to hook to this tree that fell and see if I can get that top pulled out and at least get those logs to where I can get to them and go stack them up. Well, hey guys, this is what it looks like now that I got the front on. Actually, these right here, I'll probably be taking them out within the next day or two and sanding on those, and then I've got to decide what I'm going to do with the top, whether I'm going to pour it, just kind of leave it with several coats of polyurethane on it, or just exactly what I'm going to do. But anyway, yeah, and it's provided me a whole lot of cabinet space down here. Now, you know, one thing, we were getting some comments. I considered a toe board in the beginning, but then when I got to thinking about it and the overhang of my live edge, where there are some spaces here where I've got a complete, almost handful, okay, of space. So when I pull up to the counter, all right, and I'm actually touching the counter, I look down there and I've probably got 3 inches still of space. So I thought, well, with that, taking that into consideration, I don't even need, you know, a toe area down here because I'm not even going to be that close. Now I will be adding some trim that will go around. So this is what it's going to look like minus the doors and the trim. But I'm still going to have plenty of toe space. And yeah, I can get right up next to it right here. And I actually come up with all that, like I said, that extra space that would have just been taken up. And then the cabinets, you know, would have had to have been shorter to maintain this height. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these little do-it-yourself builds, trying to save money and be as self-reliant as possible. And they actually turned out really, really stout too. But anyway, guys, my son, my daughter, and I, we really appreciate you stopping by and checking out the homestead up here and all the work that we're doing on the cabin. We can't thank you enough for your support on both of our channels. Thank you so much for that. We hope that each and every one of you have a wonderful evening. Take care, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.